It's been a little bit since the end of My Hero, but as Horikoshi prepares for the final volume to release in Japan, he came up with a 38-page epilogue after the final chapter, and it's beautiful. So a lot of people were disappointed with the final chapter of My Hero because it didn't show any of the love interests getting together, and it left a sour taste in people's mouths because Class 1A did not talk to Deku for the entire time skip that they were away from each other. But this epilogue fixes everything. So the epilogue starts off with Uraraka having a dream about Toga before she wakes up in an empty apartment. It shows that even after all this time, she still thinks about Toga and feels bad that Toga died for her. And then we get to see what all the other characters are up to after the time skip. We see that Lemillion is the #1 ranked hero currently. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't rock with Lemillion's pompadour haircut.
Wait.
But even so, the big three still look really cool, and it turns out that Nijiri is #7th, and Sun Eater just became Fat Gum's sidekick, so he's not really ranked as a pro hero. And they show up to help Uraraka in counseling young kids to make sure they don't fall down any wrong paths to become a villain. And it's really cool to see how the world of My Hero has changed since the final war, and how they're putting more of an emphasis onto early education to help kids develop their quirk and not feel ostracized by society. And Uraraka and Hawks are really focused on Toga and Twice and want to make sure that kids don't get ostracized or demonized like Toga or Twice. And you see that Uraraka confides in Froppy about her dreams of Himiko Toga. And Uraraka recalls that day when Toga died and said that her blood should be gone from her body already, but what if Toga's blood was mixed with Uraraka's and she's still living inside of her? Kinda like All for One. And then we cut to Bakugo, Kirishima, and Deku in Bakugo's new car as they're driving to a reunion of Class 1A to celebrate Todoroki becoming the #2 ranked hero. And in that car ride, we get a lot of updates from Kirishima and Bakugo. Kirishima, who has always been one of my favorite characters, is ranked #12, and he is looking for sidekick as he starts his solo career. And we see that Bakugo started out at 4th place, but is now dropped to 15th place due to bad reviews from the public, which is typical Bakugo. And Deku brought up that Bakugo got offered with a ton of people who wanted to become his sidekick, but Bakugo rejected them all. And Bakugo's reasoning was, if any of them said that they wanted to surpass me, I would have accepted them right away. Which is kind of cool because a lot of people nowadays don't want to surpass Bakugo or don't think that they could be the next All Might. And Bakugo really rejects that idea and wants someone that has ambition to work with him. Deku also says that he will continue teaching while being a pro hero, and that he's been invited to a lot of different schools to talk to the younger kids about his experiences. And you see that Deku still thinks about Shigaraki and how this kid just needed someone to reach out to him, so Deku really finds value in being a teacher and reaching out to the younger generation. And Deku even says that he'd still enjoy being a teacher even if he still had one for all. But being able to be a teacher and a hero makes Deku very happy. But it's really cool because when Bakugo was talking about wanting a sidekick that would want to surpass him, he was basically inviting Deku to join his agency, but Midoriya paid it no mind and basically rejected him until Kirishima brought it up. And I really think it's cute that Bakugo wants to help out Deku so much and even wants him to work at his agency, which really shows how far Bakugo has come since the very beginning of the series. He also starts giving hints to Deku about relationships and saying that you won't even notice the most obvious things. Giving special treatment to everyone means that no one really is special to you. And he is basically alluding to Deku's relationship with Uraraka and how nothing has progressed over these 8 years. We then head into Class 1A's reunion and celebration of Todoroki becoming the #2 hero. And it's honestly really cool to see all of Class 1A together as adults and seeing what they're all doing in their respective careers. And I love Todoroki's character design. He looks way more mature and older, and he actually looks a lot like Endeavor now. And then we get to see the updated hero ranks for Class 1A, and there's a lot of them, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but Yaoyorozu is at #19, Ida is at #13, and Shoji is at #9. But I just wanted to point out that Mineta is ranked at #108, and is probably the lowest ranked out of all of Class 1A.
Got him!
And then we get to see some of our favorite pro heroes from back in the day and what the ranks are now. We see that Mirko is at #6. We see that Best Genus is still number 5, Gang Orca is number 21, and Kamui Woods is still number 4. And then one of my favorite characters, Monoma, is now number 10, which is honestly a very surprisingly high rank for this character, but I really love it because Monoma, the entire series, has always been boasting that he was the best, and it was always very confident and outlandish, so it's fitting that he is in the top 10. And then you hear Class 1A talking about how heroes are slowly becoming extinct and not even needed anymore because villains have been decreasing year over year, which is the future that all heroes wanted in the first place. And then we get Todoroki being really introspective and talking about how people have said that he fought against a cruel fate and fulfilled his duty, but he hesitated and stumbled a lot along the way, but he has no doubt that he has made the right choices. But he thinks these things were bound to happen, so that's why he's taking a lot of interest in his own personal hobbies outside of becoming a hero. And he says that while he was praying at Toya's altar, which confirms that Toya unfortunately passed away, he realized that he has always loved eating, so now he wants to take bowl and chopstick making classes in Ishikawa. And Bakugo comments that Todoroki has a lot of free time, and Todoroki responds that he has a lot of time to spare in his heart now, which is honestly really great to see, just that Todoroki has finally healed and is moving on with his life after the hell he was put through in his childhood. And then Class 1A asks Jiro and Kaminari if they're dating, and they deny it, which I think is a missed opportunity considering that this is the final chapter of the manga. They might as well have just confirmed it, but I guess they're keeping their romance on the down low. And then we get to see how Todoroki's words have affected Deku. Todoroki is now finally pursuing a life outside of being a hero, and now that starts to make Deku think about what he wants to do outside of being a hero. And then we get to see a flashback to the last things that Shigaraki told Deku, which was, make sure you do your damn best. And while Deku's thinking about that, he locks eyes with Uraraka and realizes that that's a part of his life he never got to really explore. But before Deku can talk to Uraraka, they get called for hero work, and the entire Class 1A suits up once again, and we get this incredible full spread of all of Class 1A leaping into battle, and it is beautiful. Horikoshi is literally one of the greatest artists in Shonen Jump today. And then after Class 1A stops the criminal, they all head off for the night and say that they'll see each other later. And then we see that Uraraka really wanted to talk to Deku, but she realizes that she'll have more chances to talk to them now that they're all working as heroes again. But Deku rushes over to Uraraka to confess how he feels about her. And then we get the final closure with Uraraka and Toga, where they enter that dreamlike space, and you see that Toga was really just wanting Uraraka to live her life freely, just like Toga was all those years ago. And she even gives Uraraka that final push to get closer to Deku so that they can start their romance. And then we end the epilogue with both of them holding hands. I honestly cannot think of a better ending for the series of My Hero, and I'm glad they really tied up this loose end. But I know on Twitter, a lot of people are getting really mad at Horikoshi for shipping Deku and Uraraka and confirming their romance, because, you know, the My Hero fan bases are super weird with everyone pushing Deku and Bakugo or Deku and Todoroki. But this is how the series was always supposed to end, and this final chapter was perfect. And I'm honestly super sad that My Hero is now officially over, but it was an amazing manga, and I'm really glad that Horikoshi added some extra depth with this epilogue chapter, and he also redid a lot of the final chapters for volume 42. So I'm very excited to read those when they come out in English and see all the different additions he's made. And it's really cool because some of them have already leaked to Twitter, and he redrew the final panel of Deku and Shigaraki taking down One For All, and you have extra close-ups on both Shigaraki and Deku, and it honestly adds a lot to the intensity of the scene. And little changes like that are just super exciting just because Horikoshi is one of the greatest artists. But I cannot wait to read it when it finally comes to English. But now My Hero is officially over. What did you guys think of the final epilogue chapter? Were you guys happy with the conclusion? Or are you some of those weird fans that wanted Deku and Bakugo to kiss? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.